30-18, the recent run here with the complimentary plays after cashing in last night with Temple as the road dog at Memphis. More importantly, last night, a third straight NFL best bet winner as I scored with Arizona, getting the win and cover at San Francisco. So we've got 4 college football games on this Friday night card. I lean a little toward Old Dominion in the game that was moved up from Saturday to tonight. It goes early at 6 o'clock Eastern time. There were 7.5-point home chalk against UMass. Have absolutely no clue what's going to happen with that Clemson-Boston College game. My best bet happens to be the game between SMU and East Carolina, which leaves me with the most fascinating game on the board, that being, of course, the game between Boise State and New Mexico. And I think this may have been the single biggest upset of the 2015 season, and that says a lot. But then again, when you consider that New Mexico went to Boise and won outright as a 30-point underdog last year, well, what can I tell you? And then when you consider that that was Boise's only their 4th straight-up loss on the blue turf in 15 years, well, doesn't that qualify for upset of the year? I don't know, maybe upset of the past 5 years, a 30-point dog winning outright 31-24 in a place where the Broncos had only lost 4 games total in a 15-year span. But it was the way the Lobos won, which was so bizarre, because when you look at the box score and the statistics afterwards, it was a head-scratching win. Let me just give you some of the numbers, because I think it's really cool to look back before we look forward to tonight's rematch in Albuquerque. Because last year, the Lobos, they won that game. They were 0 for 10 on third downs. They only had 11 first downs in the game. Boise had 40 first downs. Boise had 638 total yards in that game. Now, New Mexico had 413, okay? But New Mexico punted 8 times in that game. The Broncos ran 115 plays in that game. I think Chip Kelly brought his old Oregon offense to Boise that particular night. 115 plays in that game. The Lobos only had 52 plays run in that game. Brett Ripien, the quarterback for Boise, he threw the ball 75 times. If I told you about that game, that New Mexico would have 16 penalties totaling 135 yards, and Boise only had 4 flags against them for a total of 39 yards, you would have said, hey, lay the 30 points. Give me Boise in that game. And yet, Boise lost that game. So how did Boise lose that game? Well, I think there were a couple of factors. They were 9 for 39. They could have been 9 for 39, but in fact, they were 9 for 23 on third downs. They were 2 for 6 in red zone opportunities. They had 4 turnovers that led to 10 points. Game, set, and match. Those were the 3 critical factors that allowed New Mexico to pull that stunning upset. So now the scene has turned to Albuquerque tonight. So what has happened with Boise in their last 2 visits to New Mexico? Boise won 60-49 in 2014. They won 32-29 in 2012, because this has been such a close series. 3 of the last 4 meetings with Bob Davie at the helm for New Mexico have been decided by a combined margin of 7 points. The only game that was a blowout in that 4-game stretch was when New Mexico was just devastated by injuries a few years back. Here's something else that's very interesting. Now, we know that the key to New Mexico is the triple option attack. And because Austin Apodaca, the quarterback who is the better thrower of the 2 quarterbacks between him and the junior, Lamar Jordan, no, not Lamar Jackson for Louisville, you could only hope, guys, because between the 2 of them, Apodaca is out with an injury. Jordan is not nearly as good of a thrower, so even Davey said that you're going to see his offense be more of a true triple option attack here tonight. Well, Boise, over the past few years, the last 7 meetings against Air Force and New Mexico, 2 true triple option attack teams. And I dare you to say that damn thing 3 times quickly. What has Boise done? Gone 0-7 against the spread. So when you lose as a 30-point favorite at home and you have a rematch on the road, what happens? Well, you're not getting a hell of a lot of value because everybody thinks you're going to come back with revenge on your mind and kick ass. So Boise is only a 17.5 point favorite here tonight because everybody thinks that Boise is going to come out and once again, as I said, kick New Mexico's ass. And they may very well do it. Listen, Boise State comes in here a perfect 4-0. New Mexico, they were lucky to beat San Jose State, a team that usually rolls over and plays dead, 48-41 in their last outing at home. They lost their previous 2 games, 37-28 at Rutgers. And even though the Scarlet Knights are bad, that game was in New Jersey, and the Scarlet Knights are a Big Ten team, for better or worse, right? And they lost 32-31 as an 11-point favorite to their arch rival New Mexico State. Meanwhile, Boise's a 4-0 start. They won at ULL, that's Louisiana Lafayette, 45-10. They won at home against Washington State, 31-28. They won at Oregon State in Corvallis, 38-24. They beat Utah State at home, 21-10. So, you know, statistically, point spread-wise, all the numbers certainly back New Mexico here tonight. I find it to be, again, a fascinating game. I think there's a couple of ways you play this game here tonight. If you're going to play the side, you go ahead, and I think you got to grab the points with New Mexico. Yeah, I think Boise's going to come in here hell-bent on revenge. But if you don't think Albuquerque is going to be fired up for Boise coming into this game, you are sorely mistaken. And let me just check the site here. I just want to get you the latest total on this game, which you got to love live video reports because I didn't think about doing this prior to starting the video report. But let's see. The latest total on this contest is 61 points. Oh, and actually, hey, guys, this point spread is up to 18.5, 19 points. So I think you go with New Mexico plus 18.5 to 19 points. And this is a game that you wait until the 9 o'clock kickoff because anybody that's betting this is going to come in with the public money on Boise State. The other way you look at this is you take the total on this contest at 62 points. Do you see this being a defensive battle? Do you see this being a 17-14 game? Absolutely not. New Mexico plays no defense. You know Boise is going to be in an attack mode all night long, so you can certainly play the over. I also conjectured. Oh, God, guys, I can't talk today. I conjectured last night on the website that, you know, you could possibly play a 2-team teaser with Temple and Memphis last night. You could take Temple, for example, adding 6 more points to their underdog status up to 16 as a road dog and take that total down against Memphis and then play the over. And that would have been a 2-team teaser winner as well. You could possibly do the same thing here tonight. You could take New Mexico up to, 25 points. And then you could take this total down to 55.5 points and still play the over. That's another way to go. But if you're going to go with one play here tonight, I think the solid play is to simply go ahead and grab the 19 points with the Lobos, and that's the way I would tell you to play it as a free selection tonight. Once again, New Mexico plus the points. I wish you well. Talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more